My parents lied about a medical emergency to steal my $155,000 wedding fund to pay for the golden child's honeymoon. So I got married in secret and bankrupted them. I'm a 28-year-old guy who thought I had it all figured out. It's a great job as a software engineer, an amazing fiancé, and what I believed was a supportive family. But life has a way of pulling the rug out from under you when you least expect it. This is the story of how my own flesh and blood betrayed me, how I lost everything I thought I had, and how I found the strength to take it all back. Growing up, I was always the responsible one. My younger sister, 3 years my junior, was the apple of my parents' eyes. Don't get me wrong, I love my sister, but the favoritism was obvious. While I worked part-time jobs through high school and college to save for my future, she got everything handed to her on a silver platter, but I didn't mind. I had my eyes on the prize, a future with the love of my life. Lisa and I met in college, and it was love at first sight. We both dreamed of a big fairy tale wedding. For 6 years after graduation, we scrimped and saved. Every bonus, every raise went straight into our wedding fund. $155,000, that was our magic number. It would cover the ceremony, reception, honeymoon, and even give us a little nest egg to start our married life. We were so close to our goal, just a few months away from our dream wedding. Then the call came. It was a Tuesday evening. Lisa and I were cuddled up on the couch, scrolling through potential honeymoon destinations, when my phone rang. It was my mom, her voice trembling. "Honey, it's your father. He's had a heart attack." My world stopped. Despite our differences, I loved my dad. I was on my feet in seconds, grabbing my keys. "Where is he? Which hospital?" "I'm on my way." "No." My mom's voice was sharp, almost panicked. "He's stable, but there's a problem. The doctors say he needs emergency surgery. It's experimental, not covered by insurance." "We need money." My stomach dropped. I knew where this was going. "How much?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. $150,000. The number hit me like a freight train. It was almost our entire wedding fund, but this was my dad's life we were talking about. How could I say no? "I'll transfer it right away," I said, my voice hollow. Lisa was amazing. She held me as I cried that night, assuring me we'd figure something out for the wedding. "We'll start over," she said. What mattered was that my dad would be okay. For the next few weeks, I threw myself into work, trying to rebuild our savings. My parents were oddly distant, always too busy to talk when I called to check on Dad's recovery. But I brushed it off, assuming they were dealing with the stress of his health care. Then came the Facebook post that shattered my world. It was from my sister, a series of photos showing her and her boyfriend on a luxurious beach. Cocktails in hand, the caption read, "Best honeymoon ever. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for making our dreams come true." I blinked, sure I was seeing things, but there it was, plain as day. My sister, who'd gotten engaged just a month ago, was on a honeymoon. A honeymoon that looked suspiciously like it cost about $150. Oh, my hands shook as I dialed my mom's number. It went straight to voicemail. I tried my dad, my sister nothing. Finally, I called my aunt, my mom's sister. She answered on the third ring. "Hey sweetie, how are you? How's your dad doing after the surgery?" I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. "What surgery, Aunt Sarah?" There was a long pause. "The heart surgery. Your mom told me. ... Oh no." The truth came tumbling out. There had been no heart attack, no emergency surgery. It had all been a lie. Lie to steal my wedding fund and give it to my sister for her honeymoon. I don't remember much of the next few hours. I know I screamed. I know I cried. I know Lisa held me as I fell apart, her own tears mixing with mine. Our dreams, our heart. Work all of it gone in an instant. When I finally calmed down enough to think straight, a cold determination settled over me. They thought they could walk all over me, that I'd just roll over and take it. They had no idea who they were dealing with. I called in sick to work the next day and started planning. First, I needed proof. I reached out to the family doctor. Explaining the situation, he was horrified and agreed to write a statement confirming my father had never been admitted for a heart attack or surgery. Next, I contacted a lawyer. She listened to my story, her face growing grimmer by the minute. "This is theft, plain and simple," she said. "We can press charges, but first, let's gather more evidence." For the next week, I became a detective in my own family drama. I traced the money transfer and got bank statements showing where the money had gone. I even managed to get my hands on receipts from my sister's honeymoon, matching the exact amount I'd transferred. But the real kicker came when I hacked into my sister's cloud storage. There, in black and white, was a series of text messages between her and my parents, planning the whole thing. "Don't worry, he'll fall for it," my mom had written. "He's always been such a pushover when it comes to family." Reading those words, something in me snapped. The last shred of love and respect I had for my family withered and died. In its place grew a cold, hard resolve. They wanted to play dirty. Fine, I could play dirty too. I set my plan in motion. First, I called Lisa. "Babe, how do you feel about eloping?" There was a pause, then a soft laugh. "After everything that's happened, I'd marry you in a paper bag if it meant we could be together." God, I loved this woman. We picked a date exactly 1 month from that day. Then I started making calls to my boss requesting time off, to a small chapel in Vegas, to a travel agent for a modest honeymoon package. But the most important call was to my mortgage company. You see, when I was 18, my parents had convinced me to co-sign on a refinance of their house. They said it would help build my credit. What they didn't tell me was that they were underwater on the mortgage, owing more than the house was worth. Now, that little detail was about to come in very handy. The day before Lisa and I flew to Vegas, I made one last call to my parents. I told them I forgave them, that I understood why they did what they did. I listened to their tearful apologies, their promises to make it right. And then I sprung my trap. "Don't worry about paying me back," I said, my voice sickly sweet. "Consider it a wedding gift to my dear sister. In fact, I'm going to give you another gift." "What do you mean?" my mom asked, her voice wary. "I'm removing myself from your mortgage. I've already spoken to the bank. They'll be contacting you soon about the next steps." There was a long, horrified silence. They knew what this meant. Without me on the mortgage, they'd be forced to refinance at a much higher rate if they could refinance at all, given the state of their finances. Bankruptcy was almost certain. You can't do this," my dad spluttered. "Can't I?" I replied, my voice ice cold. "Funny, I thought family could do whatever they wanted to each other. Isn't that what you taught me?" I hung up before they could respond. Then I turned off my phone, took Lisa's hand, and boarded a plane to Vegas. We got married in a small chapel, just the two of us. It wasn't the fairy tale wedding we'd dreamed of, but as I looked into Lisa's eyes and said, "I do," I realized it was perfect. We had each other, and that was all that mattered. We spent a week at a modest beach resort for our honeymoon. It wasn't luxurious, but it was ours. Every night we'd walk on the beach, planning our future, a future built on trust, love, and respect. Everything my family had thrown away. When we returned home, reality was waiting. My parents had indeed been forced into bankruptcy. My sister's honeymoon photos had been replaced by angry rants about how I'd ruined their lives. Extended family members were taking sides, filling my inbox with either support or condemnation. But I didn't care. I had my wife, my integrity, and the satisfaction of knowing that justice, in its own twisted way, had been served. It's been 6 months since then. Lisa and I are rebuilding our savings, planning for a future that's ours and ours alone. My parents and sister are still figuring out their new financial reality. They've tried reaching out, alternating between begging for forgiveness and blaming me for their troubles. I've blocked their numbers. Some might say I went too far. That family is family, no matter what. But I learned a valuable lesson through all this. True family isn't about blood. It's about respect, trust, and love. And sometimes you have to lose the family you were born with to appreciate the family you choose. As for me, I'm doing just fine. Better than fine, actually. There's a freedom in cutting toxic people out of your life, even if those people share your DNA. Lisa and I are expecting our first child, a daughter. We're going to teach her the value of hard work, the importance of integrity, and the true meaning of family. And to my dear sister, if you're reading this, I hope that honeymoon was worth it. Because the bill just came due, and karma. Well, karma's a bitch. Hey folks, if you enjoyed this roller coaster of family drama and sweet, sweet revenge, why not hit that subscribe button? After all, you never know when you might need tips on planning a secret wedding or navigating family bankruptcy.